Hi there, my name is Dio from Medala Homes, and today I am currently at Crest Ville Apartment, a 15-year long lease project at Ilupeju, Lagos. So today I have with me here Mr. Adebolu Mayowa, who is the CEO of AM Realty. So today we are just going to be basically answering questions from our clients that frequently ask questions about this project. And I'm just going to be asking the first question basically. So I would like to ask, what's this project all about for someone that doesn't have an idea of the project?
All right. Crest Ville Apartment was specifically built for shortlets,
Mm-hmm.
and in total, we have 8 units of one bed
Yeah.
and 4 units of two bed.
Mm-hmm.
The vision of this project is to reduce the barrier to entering residential real estate market. And right now, it's not just about buying a property and waiting till the end of the year to get your returns. Right now, you can own a property for a limited amount of years, say 15 to 20 years, and be earning daily returns.
Mm-hmm.
So this time around, you're more like optimizing the entirety of your investments.
Mm-hmm.
So more like you owning an hotel room for 15 years. And I believe that this is the first of its kind in the entire Lagos.
Yeah. I strongly believe so. So I have some clients that I have a client that wanted to buy key into this project, right?
Yeah.
And she asked me this question. So he said, "Oh, Dio, if I buy this project for as a two-bedroom apartment for 14 million naira, right, and I own it for 15 years, what is the assurance that I can make my money back in the next 15 years?" So I'd just like to talk through the returns and all of that. How can people get to make money from running shorted apartments?
All right. So the hospitality business in Nigeria
Mm-hmm.
is a gold mine.
Yeah.
And it has to be run and managed by experts in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Before we decided to use this property for shortlets, we have done our own due diligence. The financiers of this project too have done their own feasibility studies. We have realized that majority of serviced apartments in Lagos, to be very specific, are very dense on the island.
Yeah.
So about 80% of even those that want relaxation spots, serviced apartments on the mainland will go all the way to the island because they are limited
Apartments.
supply
Yeah.
of serviced apartments. So we realized that there's a supply deficit, and we decided to fill in that gap by building a standard service apartment in, of course, it has to be central in Lagos. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not building it on the island, it has to be very accessible to both the island
And the
and
mainland.
also to the mainland.
Yeah.
You know, Ikeja is a very is a good selling point.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be very close, to the airport as
Yeah.
well, and also easily clients can easily access the island as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the more reason why we decided to develop it in Ilupeju. And if you are very familiar with the short-term market, you'd realize that the type of apartment that really booms had a one bed and a two-bedroom apartment. And in total, we have 12 units of both apartments, 8 units of one bed and 4 units of two bed.
Okay.
And we have also, of course, done our own assignment by knowing the going rate for each apartment around the Ilupeju axis. And of course, I can tell you for a fact that when we start operations, we are going to be guaranteeing our clients considerable amount of occupants in a month. We're looking at above 18 days on an average.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. So for me, right, there's something I tell my clients. So for me, for us at the Dollar Homes, it's not about selling long lease apartment to clients, right?
Yeah.
We follow you through that process, right? So we have project at Bagada, Akoka, very close to Unilag, and for us, it's like when we sell long lease to you, we don't just leave you.
Yeah.
We help you optimize your returns. So if you want to put it out for rent, we help you ensure that you get occupants to put it out for rent because you're not a real estate professional. So
Yeah.
you cannot exactly be able to find occupants to occupy your apartment.
Yeah.
Or you want to do short hostel accommodation, we help you find occupants.
Yeah.
So for Crest Ville, one thing I've told most of my clients that came into this project is we are going to help you find occupants, right? Because we know you are not a real estate professional. So and you have other stuff you are doing. So this is just a vehicle for you to invest, right? To keep making money and keep getting returns. So I would just like to ask you, how do you think? What's the plan for this project, right? How can we be able to assure people about 18 days occupancy out of 30 days, basically?
All right. So running a serviced apartment is not something that you just venture into without proper structure
Exactly.
and proper planning.
Exactly.
So a lot of things has to be in place. Central facilities, power central facility, internet central facility, water. So everything has to be synergized. So the entire 12 apartments must have So we have 12 apartments, different investors owning different flats.
Yes.
So they can't be managing different flats individually.
The cost on its own.
The cost on its own is enormous. So when they all come together, and we as the developers, and I believe you can also do your due diligence. Developers in Lagos usually just build and sell and leave the burden of optimizing these returns to the buyers.
Yes.
So that's what we are trying to solve. So that's the problem we're trying to solve. That right now we want people to see real estate as a profitable venture, more like how it is being practiced abroad.
Yeah.
People earn monthly rental.
Yeah. So Mara, so to cut it short, right?
Yeah.
I had somebody I met, right? So worked one of my friends worked together at a firm, and he introduced me to his uncle, right? So his uncle had to close down his short apartment in Lekki, I think around Agungi thereabouts. So he had to close it because of occupancy rate. So and that's what I keep telling people, right? It's not about having to get an apartment in a
Highbrow area.
high-bound area where so it's not enough for you to get an apartment in a high-bound area.
Yeah.
It goes beyond. You have to talk about marketing. You have to talk about management.
Yeah.
Cost, facility management, and then there has to be structure.
Yeah.
Short-term business is business that you just start and you just do it anyhow. You can wake up today and people occupants maybe damage some things in your apartment. There's no proper management that helps to check all of those things. You at the end of the day, you realize that
you're making a loss. Yeah.
So you're talking about the whole structure of having to manage in terms of management. That's having the whole 12 unit of apartment come together. There's going to be a brand on its own for
exactly for
whole
the entire.
apartment.
So even people that are coming to stay here don't even know that these apartments are owned by individuals.
Yes.
So these individuals are just sitting in their homes and receiving credit alerts, either monthly or quarterly. And I believe that with this initiative, we'll be able to further, allow people invest in properties, because for you to be able to buy this kind of property in Lagos, of course, it's not just about buying a property, it's buying a property in a location where there is demand for this kind of serviced apartment. And of course, if you're not building or owning properties in central mainland, it has to be on the island. I know how expensive properties are around these edges. So I feel like this is the best way for investors that can afford even these 60 million houses, or even those that have bought those, expensive apartments, to also diversify their investment, buying something for less than one quarter of what you would have used to own and still enjoying the same dividends constantly for 15 years. I mean, the hospitality business right now, averagely in Lagos, is around 70%. This is not an hotel, this is a service apartment. Hotels around this area with just one single room. I won't want to reveal so much about our marketing strategy, but I can assure you that when this starts to run, people can come in here and also ask questions about occupancy. So we are very certain of delivering juicy returns to all the investors that have bought. Some investors bought two, some bought one, some bought three. So at the end of the day, it's more of how can you optimize your return over the 15-year ownership scheme, which we're very confident about.
Makes sense. But I would just like us to touch through on the plain level, right?
Okay.
So say this apart I brought a client here and I said this is what we are furnished for one of our clients, right? And you can see the quality of finishing, right?
What we're doing.
And this apart, I have a client in Pedro Bagada that the furnishing in the apartment is not
as exquisite as this.
So and that person put out the apartment out for 30K per day, and people occupy the apartment. Now imagine now putting this apartment, because I feel like entering this market, right? We are going to um occupy this market basically. And I keep saying in our marketing content, I say this is going to be one of the most talked about shelter apartment in the mainland.
Yes.
So imagine putting this out for 25K. Let's just do a rough analysis, right?
Yeah.
Just to give people an idea of. So we sold one bedroom here is currently sold out. So I think we sold out. We sold one bedroom for I think about 7.5 there.
Yes.
Yeah. So imagine an apartment you bought for 7.5 and you make 25K per day, right? So if you're able to get 20 days every month, right? So that's about 500K per month, right?
Yeah.
So in a year, that's
almost 6 million.
Almost 6 million, yeah. So if you are already making 6 million in your first year, right? That's with proper marketing, and what I keep telling people is if you don't ensure that there's a brand on its own or there's a plan towards marketing, management,
Yeah,
and all of that, you are not going to be able to optimize your returns in terms of
exactly.
occupancy. So like
Perfect.
at the end of the day, if you're making 6 million in the first year, and can you give me like an estimate of what it took us to furnish this? Like I can't remember.
Okay, yeah. So aside buying the property, spent roughly 2.5. But this 2.5 is not just to furnish the interior, but also to service the facilities. So the investors all put together money to get generator, inverter, So aside that, all recurrent expenditures like maintaining the apartment, um, occupying the property, the marketing cost, security, waste management, every recurrent expenditure will be deducted from their revenue. So they are not taking their money to do anything for the period of ownership. So every money before it's being remitted to them, we deduct all the recurrent expenditure and send to them with, of course, an accounting report
Mhm.
to justify everything.
Makes sense, makes sense. So I would just like to quickly talk about the marketing because
Okay,
that's where, for my clients, right?
that's where.
Like, because I derive so much joy in seeing that a client I sold a property to is getting, because that's the whole idea.
Okay, let me.
Like,
Okay,
okay, yeah, you can call me because for me, like, I feel like it doesn't really make any sense to buy a property, right?
yeah,
And the goal of buying that property is to get returns. And at the end of the day, you discover you're not getting returns. So it means that either you were you thought there was a market, right? And you bought something, right? And there is no when you bought that stuff, there's no actual market to give you returns.
yeah,
So for me, it's always I worked to make sure that if I sell property to you, right, you must optimize your return
your
on that
return,
property
yeah,
such that you're able to tell somebody else that I bought the property from Dayo. And in my first year, for example, the property we're delivering at Agoka, we're delivering keys to clients by the end of this month,
hmm.
right? And somebody already got rent
Even
before
before.
before before we finished building. Somebody already got somebody that paid for his apartment. So that on its
That's the
own,
joy,
that's the joy. So I would just like you to talk about. You're going to say something about
the marketing.
marketing, yeah.
So I'll just give a very simple example, right? So if you as an investor own one of these apartments and you are spending 100,000 naira to market that property, your
Yeah,
own property,
yeah,
out of the entire 12,
yeah,
it's the same amount that it will cost me to market the entire 12.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're talking about optimization. So how do you optimize? So that's why people that buy properties from developers and use that singular property for short let, they won't make as much money as someone that is managing the entire property. Or if everybody that has bought property, if they are all using it as short lets. Because when someone is putting his gen just across you, we have 12 apartments, everyone is putting their gen on, and you are the only one that has inverter. You're coming downstairs, everywhere is rowdy. When an apartment, exactly, it's just like someone that bought a property for his own personal use and decides that he wants to start using it for short lets. There are apartments that are used for short let. You can buy a 5 bedroom duplex for your personal use and you stay there for 5 years and you say you want to convert it to short let and you're expecting massive returns because you didn't plan to use that property for short let. I mean, the
And the
structure.
exception of buying that property, all of those, like the motive goes
Exactly.
into the decision making process of buying that
The
property. Is it the
plan,
right location?
yes, the
Yeah.
planning of this property from the inception
Exception.
was for short let. 24 hours electricity, we have central generator, we have inverter, we have
CCTV.
CCTV, we have room service. There's really nothing you want around this property that you don't get. We have a lot of eateries, we have a lot of, there's really nothing you want in this property that you don't get. And we are the ones handling the entire management.
Yeah, so I was talking to an HR professional in one of the FMCG companies you have at Ilupeju here.
Yeah,
And so, as an HR professional, you get to like have expatriates that come into Nigeria. You need somewhere to like keep them for maybe 2 weeks or 1 month of their assignment,
yeah.
basically. So, and she said, Dayo, it took me 2 weeks to get a good sheltered apartment
Hmm.
very close to Ilupeju or around Ilupeju. That for her, she can't be going to Keja GRA or Yaba because she wants somewhere that 5 minutes drive to the office, Ilupeju here.
Yeah,
It took her like 2 weeks to get. They were going to different
back
apartments,
and
back
forth.
and forth. Oh, the management and like, and I noted every tiny details of what our requirements were. Those apartments were not fully secured. They were not. They don't have CCTV. All of those things, and those are the things we are doing here at Crest Ville. So
Yeah.
imagine being able to tick those boxes for the clients, right? So, and I was telling you that I brought her to this side, and when she saw this apartment, she was like, "Wow, this is what I'm looking for."
Hmm.
And the plan is to get a retainership with her and accompany her to some other companies also. So imagine we can get retainership with as much as possible multinational companies here at Ilupeju, and they just make anytime they need short apartment, especially where they come to. So
Exactly.
imagine the kind of returns, and when those kind of clients, they don't book for 1 day,
Yeah.
they book for 1 week,
2 weeks.
So imagine massive returns for clients and
I'm not sure you remember that just leaving this property and walking 3 minutes, there's a motion terminal, the Lagos State Red Wheel terminal. Yeah, the motion terminal is just 2-3 minutes walk from here. And
Imagine when they are done with that.
when they are done with that. So that's the thing. Like investors think that their returns are fixed. They are not fixed. Because the reason why launching would have a lot of promos. But when the demand is saturated, that's when the real optimization. Yes.
Like
December period. And that's when the real optimization. Just imagine when that terminal is done. Crestville is the only serviced apartment that would service hundreds of people that would stop by that motion terminal. You understand? So at that time, what would we do as business owners? We can only increase our prices. So right now, people are not really understanding the model because it's quite new, right? And they feel like, why would I want to own something this exquisite and just leave it after 15 years? But what other business can give you that ROI year in, year out without no risk? With the developers helping you to manage, and you know that by the end of the month or by the end of the quarter, whichever way you want to get your returns, you are guaranteed of cash flow on your property. I mean, personally for me, I feel like it's, if you can afford it, it's an investment that shouldn't pass you without you wanting, if not to buy it, but make an inquiries to refer someone, because it's a new model, to be very honest with you, and that's more reason why we're doing so much publicity, so a lot of clients and prospects can optimize the opportunity. Because right now, after this particular project, the next project will be definitely expensive. You know how the economy is, and things keep going up. So it's
So I wanted to just quickly like chip in on the marketing, right?
yeah,
So because for me, marketing is where I really love marketing,
yeah,
right? So and the marketing for this project is going to be very, very, I analyzed marketing for this project for one of my clients, and immediately she was like, "That you're just saying I can't do it." Because looking at the marketing strategy, right? We're going to have influencers come in, create content. You have like who can even go as far as having influencers come to shoot content here for free
yeah.
and get to put publicity on the brand.
You even have a spa downstairs,
Downstairs, yes,
on the
that
ground
lady that's
floor.
working on. So imagine like having influencers back to back on social media, posting, tagging Crest Ville Apartment, the kind of awareness that we're going to be creating, social media budget, spending good amount of money on social media marketing and all of that, having brand ambassadors, and there are going to be a lot of real estate agents that do shortly. Because for me, right, apart from doing social media marketing and all of that, the key people that really drives occupancy in either rent or short let are the agents on its own.
Yeah,
Because there are people that when people want apartment, oh, Lele, I need an apartment today in Lekki. I want to use for 2 days. Those are the people that know the kind
yeah,
of apartment to refer to clients basically.
that fits
So
your
all of these
budget.
people we are going to be on their faces, right?
Yeah,
Give them incentive, increase their commission and all of that, and ensure that they are pushing this property
constantly.
constantly. That's when you hear Crest Ville Apartment, you already know that this is one of the best on the mainland.
Yeah,
So I wanted to just chip that in as regards marketing.
yeah,
Basically.
yeah, definitely. Because right now, even it is so obvious that the best product right now in the market is the most visible product.
Yes.
No matter how fantastic your product is, if you don't do proper marketing, if you don't constantly put it in the faces of people, they don't even know about it.
Exactly. So
Right?
you can have a very beautiful shuttle apartment and not everybody knows
And no
about
one
it.
knows
And
about it.
exactly at the end of the day, you're not getting good results.
They're not
We are
getting good.
spending so much on money.
Exactly. So just like you said, we have strategies for marketing. You mentioned some of it: influencers, agents, social media marketing. I mean, a lot more that we plan to employ. And even funny how hotels in Lagos they don't do all of this, because hospitality business on its own sells itself.
Yeah.
It's a demand. It's a necessity. I mean, we're in a country where we have millions of people trooping in and out of different states and like and towns, and they just need somewhere to stay 2 3 days. So even when we without even before the before internet marketing, before social media marketing, hotels are always occupied. So right now, if you know how to leverage other mediums to put your property out there, it would only increase your occupancy. Because right now there is a standard occupancy that we expect without even doing all of this, without employing all of these strategies that you mentioned, just referrals. There's one service apartment, they're very nice. People use words of mouth. There's an hotel, they're very nice. People can drive and say, is there any hotel around here? This is the first. I feel like the open house, people would really know what we want to do. The agents, all the clients, you would see the plan that we have to occupy this property. And people can always walk in here and, investors have that free will to walk in here anytime to even use their property for themselves. So it's a fantastic one that year, I must say.
So I think we're getting to the end of this
Thank you.
short like Q&A and all of that.
Yeah.
I think it's also important that you just get to inform people that we have just I think 1 unit.
Yeah, 1 unit of 2 bedroom apartment left.
All right.
So thank you very much, Tayo.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. You should get with the 1 unit that is there.
You should. Trust me.